And we are back with another Monday preview. Guys, as promised, I promised you this last week because we didn't talk about the Washington Capitals a ton, just a little bit. We've got Eva, our Washington Capitals enthusiast, back to break down everything Caps. Thanks for coming back out.
Absolutely. Happy to be here. Everyone should know that I'm wearing my Caps friendship bracelet.
Dylan Strom, cherry blossoms, because that's the best color scheme for the Washington Capitals.
Yeah. No one cares about red, white, and blue.
No. Precursor to this discussion, because we're going to face off tonight. So we don't know how that's going to go, but then we face off again next Friday. Remember, we have tickets.
Yes. Oh, I have it on my calendar.
All right, Eva, what's going on with the Caps?
They're bad.
Damn.
So the Caps have had a really up and down season. They started the season playing well, but really unlucky. Then they got really, really hot. And the last month they've been bad. Okay. They're like clinging to wild card 2. They're less than 500 in their last 10 games. They blow leads all the time if they have the leads to begin with. It's looking pretty bad. But you never know. They could turn it around. They do that sometimes, and sometimes they don't. Okay, so like I said, they've been like really up and down this year. There have been some things that have been like consistently good and some things that have been consistently bad. So the things to know about the Washington Capitals that they are good at. They're good at 5-on-5. Like they are consistently in the top of the NHL in like basically any 5-on-5 metric. They can score. They look good. They're pretty defensively competent. They have a couple of players who are having really good seasons. So as context that people might or might not know, last year the Caps sort of rose from mediocre to bad to like one of the best regular season teams.
Yep.
On the backs of a number of players having absolute career years. Those guys are all playing pretty well again. None of them have quite hit those again, but there are a couple of players who are having really, really good seasons. Logan Thompson is sort of the most important. So that's the other thing that's mostly been going well is goalies. He's not as hot as he was at the start of the season, but he's still playing pretty well, and that's pretty important. I think both of the games against the Blackhawks are not back-to-backs for the Caps, so I would guess he's going to play both of them. Charlie Lindgren's been up and down. He's had really good games and some not so good games.
Are they still splitting 50-50 like last year? Okay.
No, Logan Thompson is the starter. Charlie plays back-to-backs and like occasional other games in there. But they dropped that into the playoffs, and then like they have different contracts where like Thompson is like paid like a starter this year, so he's actually a starter. Tom Wilson, people have heard of him. Canadian Olympian.
Hey,
we're so excited. He is in this just like crazy career trajectory where he was like a depth fourth liner who fought for like 7 years, and then he tore his ACL, and then it looked like he was like never going to be good again, and then every year since he's like been better and better. It's a very odd trajectory. I think Caps fans want you to know that it's very similar to Brad Marchand's trajectory in terms of like when he's like sort of locked in as like an offensive player, but he's having a really good year doing all the things that he does, which is score and make everyone mad. And we love him. Sorry, I'm sure there are people who will listen to this who won't love him, but that is such as the world of being a Tom Wilson fan. And Jacob Chychrun. So he is the player who is dramatically stepped up from previous years. He is, fun fact.
Somebody should have given him an Olympic spot.
Yeah, watch that space if anyone gets injured. He's Canadian, for the record. People get confused because he grew up in the US. He's a dual citizen, but he plays for Canada on the national team. He is from Florida. He leads all of NHL defensemen in goal scoring. He has more goals than Cal McCarr this year. So in case you're wondering about that, there you go. And like in general, Chychrun's playing really well. The Caps are getting a lot of offense from their defensemen. They are not always getting a lot of offense from their forwards, but he's really driving that. The other thing that's been going well are our children, our rookies. Ryan Leonard is like the one that is going to get all the attention because he's the highest Caps draft pick in like more than 10 years. And he's been really good. He's getting not as many minutes as like I think anyone wants him to, which I will explain in 1 second, but he the Caps power play was like unbelievably bad to start the season, and then he got put on the power play and it was like suddenly watchable, and then he got injured and it was unwatchable again. Like he's playing really well. He's been a lot of fun to watch. Justin Sordiff is the other rookie that people maybe have
newly acquired, right?
Yeah, so he is a 23-year-old rookie who had been in the Florida AHL system and was just like stuck in their depth chart because they were Florida and they had depth.
Panthers AHL or Tampa's?
Panthers.
Okay.
Yes. Charlotte, I think is the AHL team.
Yeah.
And the Caps traded him for him over the summer, and everyone was like, "That's such a stupid trade. He was going to go on waivers anyway. What are they thinking?" And it turns out what they were thinking is that he's really good, and we love him. And he's not scoring a ton, but he has been just like good whenever he's out there. And the scoring is coming a little bit. I think he has 3 goals in his last 2 games. As of again, this is January 3rd that we're talking. So hopefully the points start coming, but he's been playing really well, and that's been really fun to watch. He's also, one of the many players who comes to the Caps, and they're like, "And who did you root for growing up? Were you a Canucks fan in British Columbia?" And he's like, "I had an Alex Ovechkin jersey." Of which we have a lot of those kids now these days.
Yeah.
So that's what's going well. What's going badly, I basically already said this, but the power play is unbelievably bad. Like, it's like cannot score. It's like painful to watch.
Is there like, are you able to pinpoint what is bad, or just toss the whole thing out?
So the Caps power play is weird because it's been bad for a number of years, and people assume that it's good because of Ovi. It's not. So they can't enter the zone, and then when they do, they just kind of, it's like very predictable, partially because Ovi. And it's like, what are you going to do? Not pass it to the guy who has more power play goals than anyone ever in the history of the league? Also more goals. But like, it's like, it's not working. But it's been a little bit better with Ryan Leonard, but it's been bad. And the penalty kill is also pretty bad. So special teams is not a thing for the Caps this year. And it is a problem. And they need to fix that. The other thing that's a big problem is center depth. So what happened to the Caps this year is that they went into the year thinking that Dylan Strome would be on what we call the first line because it's the line that Ovi's on. We love him once again. Got his little bracelet. Pierre-Luc Dubois, who was amazing last year, would center the second line. The third line was going to be either Connor McMichael or Hendrix Lapierre, who are 2 players who are sort of like center winger-ish. Connor McMichael really broke out last year as a winger, and then the fourth line was going to be
best Connor Mc in the game.
Absolutely. What happened was that Pierre-Luc Dubois got immediately injured and just started skating again and probably won't be back until after the Olympic break. And Connor McMichael is way better as a winger, and Hendrix Lapierre is not good. At least right now. The Caps are going to trade him. Hopefully he has one of those like change of scenery things, but like he's not playing well, and he's not getting a lot of minutes because he's not playing well. Because did you know, I think he has the longest goalless streak of any player in the NHL right now. This guy's a forward. It's not good. It's really not good. I hope he does well somewhere else soon. But this is all to say that the center depth is bad. That's how Justin Sordiff, as previously mentioned, a 23-year-old rookie who was not expected to really be in the NHL this year, ended up as the second line center. Because they were like, maybe this guy can do it. Right. And it turned out that he can, but like ideally he doesn't. So it's like generally a problem, and it's a problem because that third line like doesn't play at all because Spencer Carberry doesn't trust Lapierre, which is a problem, for example, when like Ryan Leonard is on that line because then they don't play and we want him to play, et cetera, et cetera. They're going to have to fix it at some point. They haven't yet. They had this problem last year. The third line was also really bad because they thought that Hendrix Lapierre was going to be a full-time NHL center and he wasn't, and they made a trade like earlier. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they fix it. But that's also to say that really the only injury that they currently have is this Dubois injury, which is like, it has a huge impact on the team, but it's been going on the whole season. I think there's like a lot of, well, this will come out later, but I saw that there are like a number of players who are game time decision for tonight. So I don't know if they have like the flu or whatever. But those are the highs and lows of the Washington Capitals. Alex Ovechkin, you guys have heard of him. Currently at 9-12 goals. So there's always some milestone or another. He is a free agent at the end of the year. So if you're the kind of person who's like, this might be the last chance to see him play my team, we don't know.
What do you think?
I really don't know. He's also been a little bit hot and cold this year. And he's definitely, like, he's always been very clear that he doesn't want to be bad. Like he doesn't.
Which I totally get.
Yeah, and he wants to play at least a year for Dynamo Moscow, which is the team that he like grew up with, and like played before coming to the US. So I think if he has a strong end to the season, like a strong second half, which he might, especially with the Olympic break, it'll give him some time off. He's the last couple of years he's been the last 2 years he's been better in the second half, sort of after getting a little bit of a break. Then he might do like another year, maybe even two. But it's like quite possible that he retires after this year, which would be
Wild.
Yeah, like a huge.
The
I mean, it
thought
was huge for
of
the Caps and for the NHL.
Yeah, I think NHL, like outsider Western Conference fan, like that's wild to even think about. And I mean, and it'll be wild at a point when Pittsburgh is without Crosby, just like
Yeah. I mean, it's even weird to think about like the Kings without Kopitar. And like for me, like I'm from DC, that's why I'm a Capitals enthusiast. And like there is no such thing as like hockey without Ovi. Like it wasn't a team that people paid a lot of attention to. Like the whole sport is wrapped up with him in DC, so it'll be a huge change once it happens. So knock on wood, we get a little bit longer. But speaking of the future, because you care about the prospects, etc.
Of course I do. Talk about the baby.
Yeah, so the Caps are in this really interesting position where they actually have some good players coming up, despite the fact that they have pretty consistently made the playoffs for the last 20 years. Yeah, so they managed to pull off some good draft picks in there. Like I said, so Ryan Leonard is sort of the big prospect, and he's now in the NHL. But the next two players that Caps fans are really excited about are Ilya Protas and Cole Hudson. So Ilya Protas was, I think, 2023 or 2024. He was a third round draft pick, 2023. Yeah, he's the same age as Ryan Leonard. This is his first full year in professional hockey. He's in the AHL. He's leading the Hershey Bears in points. He is the younger brother of Alexei Protas, who is on the Caps, who, they're just a pair of giant young men from Belarus. And Alexei Protas had a huge breakout year last year. Ilya Protas is like smashing his career development right now. So really sort of hopeful and excited that he'll be able to come up and maybe hopefully as soon as next year and be a really good player for the Capitals. He is potentially a full-time center, which Protas is Alexei is.
Do you think there's potential, like, depending on how much action they do at trade deadline, that could be one? Because you know how, like, right after the trade deadline, if you're able to flip a couple of players, there's always like one or two that at least get like a show me what you got moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think we really don't know what the Caps will be doing, because it's not really clear whether they're going to be like a bubble team or they might have fallen out by then or whatever.
Right.
Like, I think if they've fallen out, then there's a really good chance that they flip guys and pull them up. If not, the Caps love to keep their prospects in Hershey for a long time, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him finish out the year there. But he's a player that
he's insane.
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
We're very excited about him. And Alexei is very excited about him. So that's always fun. Yeah. And then Cole Hudson is sort of the other like big Caps prospect. If people did watch World Juniors, well, hopefully you know more about him than just that he got injured in a really scary way. But
happy that he's vertical.
He is. Yeah, he played last night. Was like, I didn't do enough to help my team. It's like, hey,
you literally got knocked out by a puck.
He also had a goal and an assist.
Like, what else could you do?
But he so he set the U.S. points record for a defenseman at World Juniors last night, having missed most of the tournament with an injury. So he is, right, his brother won the Calder last year. So again, like sort of that's always the comparison that people are going to make. But he's playing really, really well at Boston University, and people are really excited about him. Could be a guy who comes up when the college season ends. Might play next year in Hershey. I don't know that kind of stuff. But those are sort of the main two prospects. There's a number of other guys that people are excited about.
I feel like that kind of depends on what you guys do defensively.
Yeah. So the Caps are kind of locked up on defense right now, but I would not be surprised to see some of those guys traded. It's just there aren't a lot of expiring contracts, but there are like the Caps are not afraid to trade away their problems. And they have, I think Cavs fans are generally like very positive about the front office. They've made some really good trades in the last couple of years, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. Or they might be like,
or they've picked up some really, really great guys for nothing.
Yes, absolutely.
They're the number one center.
We're very grateful to our
Dylan Strome. We miss you in Chicago, but glad that you are loved.
He is at home. He has found his place. We're very grateful for the Blackhawks for not qualifying him. But yeah, I mean the future of the Caps is like super interesting because there's the question mark about Ovi. Like that's just going to be it's going to be a huge sort of emotional gap to fill. It's going to be a huge ticket sales gap to fill.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge goal scoring gap to fill. So that'll be really interesting.
I feel like with the ticket sales though, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's not going to be the same whatsoever. But I do think having younger kids coming up through the system benefits you guys more than Ovi's gone and we have nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I think what will be interesting if it's sort of like if they can maintain like being wild card competitive, then I think that they won't have a problem. If they do have a fall off, it's just going to be tough because again, like he's the guy everyone knows. He is hockey in Washington, and that's just going to be I don't know. Like I'm sure that Blackhawks fans have experienced this. I'm also a baseball fan. Washington Nationals is like this. Like when you go to a game and everyone's wearing jerseys for the guys who don't play for the team anymore. Like it's going to be like that. Yeah. When you go to a Caps game now, it's like, it's a plurality Ovi. There's a lot of Backstrom. There's a lot of Oshie. Those guys are already gone. So, that'll be interesting. But because they've been competitive these last couple of years, there's a lot of optimism. What if you can like swap these guys right in and like have these young, exciting players and keep it competitive and you have a good goalie? And it just sort of keeps rolling.
That helps them. So LT is
yeah. So that's sort of the hope for the future. But first, they have to stop blowing leads this year.
That was going to lead me to our final question.
Yes.
If you had to pick, and this can be a position that they need to fill, a mentality thing, an aspect of their game, critique on Carberry, what do you think is the biggest hurdle for the Washington Capitals right now?
They need to fix the power play. It is bad.
All right, Spencer, you heard it here.
Spencer, that's our Jack Adams winner, Spencer Carberry. We love him,
but please fix the power play. Actually, if you could fix the power play like in a week.
Okay, we can hold off for a week. But we need that. Spencer Carberry, we miss your post-game speeches in the locker room. When the teams keep losing, you keep not giving post-game speeches in the locker room.
Yeah, and even as a not fan, I appreciate the post-game speeches.
They're very fun. So yeah, that's the outlook of the Caps, and hopefully we'll have 2 good games, one of which will have already happened by the time.
Heck yeah, it'll be a very fun 60 minutes. And continuing on with our Monday preview, we have 2 more games to talk about. First game of the week is going to be this upcoming Wednesday against the St. Louis Blues. This is a home game. This is a very, very late start. It's saying 8:30, but guys, we know what that means. An 8:52 p.m. start. So very late start for the boys on Wednesday, but they are home. St. Louis has got a lengthy injured reserve list right now. You've got Bjugstad, Holloway, Suter, Walker, and Torrey Krug out on IR at the moment. They're varying between like day-to-day and season. So some guys might be back by the matchup. Some may not. At the time of recording, so this is a little early. This is being recorded Saturday night. At the time of recording, St. Louis sits 6th out of 8th in the Central, and their last 10 are 5-4-1. Your goaltending tandem is Jordan Bennington and Joel Hofer. Notable forwards are Kyrou, Thomas, Buchnevich, Snuggerud, and defensemen. You're looking at Parayko and Broberg. Biggest thing for this matchup, guys, is be careful of your shoulders. Because we can't have another guy separate another shoulder again. So watch out when Braden Shen's on the ice. And be careful of the shoulders, boys. Can't have anybody else on injured reserve right now. So we matched up with them a couple of weeks ago, unfortunately lost. Maybe this will be, we found some refound energy against with the Dallas wins, both the shootout win and then the regular one on New Year's Day. So here's hoping that the boys can take some of that energy with, New Year sort of mindset into this win. But it would be very, very nice. Be really nice if we can pull wins with against St. Louis and Nashville. Just because I don't know about you guys, but I really don't like losing to either of those teams in particular. But yes, the boys have faced them before. This will definitely be a bigger game for depending on who draws in forward wise, your Colton, your Lafferty, if he draws in, your Slager, this is gonna be a big game for them. Also, if we can just continue the just pucks on net, even if they're not close, just go in the right direction, friends. And then another big game for the Creech. Going to Nashville Predators, which is going to be Saturday night. It's away. It'll be the front half of a back-to-back for Nashville, not and a back-to-back for us because we play Friday night at home against the Washington Capitals and then Saturday away against Nashville. And then Nashville has a homestand back-to-back Saturday night against Chicago and then Washington at home on Sunday. So I would imagine you get Spencer in night for Nashville, and I imagine you get it. Maybe for Nashville, I'm not sure, but I figure you get Spencer Knight in net against the Washington Capitals, and then you get Arvid Soderblom against the Nashville Predators. I would assume with the back-to-back. But like I said, it's going to be the front half of the back-to-back for Nashville. Maybe you think with a big rivalry, you want to put UC Saros in net, or if you want to save UC Saros for the Washington Capitals the day after, then you're looking to put Justus Annunen in net because that is Nashville's current goalie tandem right now. At the time of recording, Nashville's sitting exactly at 500, fifth out of eighth in the Central, and then the last 10 are 6, 4, and 0. Not a lengthy injured reserve for Nashville whatsoever. You got Weissblatt out with a month-to-month, and then Marchessault out day-to-day. Who knows? He might be back by Saturday. Like I said, your goaltending tandem for Nashville is going to be Saros and Annunen. Unsure who's going to start, but you're going to get one of them Saturday, and then one of them is going to play Sunday against Washington. And then same with us. Somebody's going to play against the Caps, and then I would assume whoever doesn't is going to play in Nashville. I will be there Saturday night for Nashville, so it should be pretty entertaining. It'll be my first time at the Bridgestone. So hoping for a big win from the boys. Notable forwards, you've got Forsberg, Stamkos, O'Reilly, and Matthew Wood. Defensemen, you've got Yossi and Shea. We did face them on Black Friday at the end of November, and we were very much just outgassed. But I'm hoping, we maybe have a different mindset. If we can just continue the positivity that New Year's Day gave us, who knows, maybe we can get this turned around. We really, like I said, with St. Louis and Nashville, it would be very nice to get wins out of both. Selfishly, I hope we at least get one out of Nashville because I will be there. But yeah, it should be a very fun week. So in total, guys, we've got the St. Louis Blues on Wednesday at home, late start. Then we got the Washington Capitals at home Friday night, 7 o'clock. And then you've got Saturday away against the Nashville Predators. And that is all. And we will talk to you guys next week.